Hare Krishna. Very, very happy to be with all the devotees here. My name is Satish Das. I did my bachelor's from IIT Trichy in 2010 to 14, and later I moved to Varanasi because my spiritual master had wanted that we go and preach in areas of Uttar Pradesh, Kanpur, Varanasi, Lucknow, and Prayagraj. Because most of you are practicing devotees, you must be knowing that Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's most important teachings to the Goswamis, Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami, have been given in Varanasi and Prayagraj. So these two are very, very special places. And by Lord's great mercy, we have received service in these two places of Varanasi and Prayagraj. And later for service, I also took masters there. I did my masters in VLSM from IIT PH because that was locally available there. And then I completed that, and then from that time I have been teaching in those colleges of Varanasi, Prayagraj, and some places of Kanpur and these places. So mostly our services have been towards college students and youth outreach. This is about me. My native place is Andhra Pradesh. So I'm basically from Vizag, but my childhood has was in Ranchi, which is in Jharkhand. You all must be knowing MS Dhoni. I studied in the same school as Dhoni, JVM Shamili. That was till 12th. Then after that I moved to Trichy. Then from 2014 onwards I have been in Varanasi. And currently we are having many youth centers there. Almost 5-6 youth centers we have in those places. And I'm overseeing the activities in those places. So this is about me. Other devotees they would like to introduce themselves. You can share your name and native place and what you are doing currently.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My name is Akash. I am from West Bengal, and there I am doing my masters.
Hare Krishna. You are from Varanasi. Where in Varanasi? Yes, I do. You can also share your name.
My name is Nitish. I am in the voice center. Yes, I am learning this voice. I am also from Andhra Pradesh.
He's working in Oracle. He came along with me. Six. You are in which year? In which year?
First. I am from Kerala. Currently, I am pursuing research in data science and
Alex. What is your name?
I am pursuing BS in data science, working as an
Alex.
My name is Sri. I am from Andhra Pradesh. I am working here as a DevOps engineer research.
You can also introduce yourself.
I am from Rajasthan. I am doing PhD in Australia. My name is Thomas. I was working here as a hospital manager. My age is now 82, and maybe
He was working in hospital many years. And he retired in 70s.
Alex. He's Dinkar. No? I met him. Alex. Thank you. Yes. Many are from Mumbai. Please give that.
My name is Nima. I'm from Chhattisgarh. I'm currently doing PhD here, and my area is workplace spirituality.
So you are doing PhD in spirituality, workplace spirituality. I would like to know your like inferences. Yeah.
Hey Krishna, everyone. I'm pursuing the JP.
Where in Kanpur you? Takadil. So I was there for 3 years serving in the temple there in Kanpur. You know the temple? Iskan temple in Kanpur.
Yeah, I've been going there since the temple.
Yeah. We were the initial devotees who actually started the temple's activities when the new temple came in 2014.
Hey Krishna, my name is Leela. I'm doing master's in department.
Thank you very much for coming. Today is a very auspicious day of Papamochani Ekadashi. If someone follows this Ekadashi very strictly and very nicely, then there are meditations that it can eradicate all the sins from our life, and it can give a lot of purity in our existence. So I don't know what topic Prabhuji has shared with all of you that what I'm going to discuss. But anyway, I had thought something that I will anyway share that. And if Prabhuji wants to add something, he will add it. Can we begin with short prayers? Hi, some slides they will show, like not so much dependent on it. We will begin with short prayers. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा वै ददाति वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतां श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवां श्रीरूपं साग्रजा साद्वैतं हरिजन कृष्ण श्रीराधा कृष्णपाद सहगणललिता श्रीकृष्ण नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णाय श्रीहरे स्वामी नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारे निर्विशेष शून्यवाद नमो महादेव्य कृष्ण प्रेम कृष्णाय कृष्ण नामिने ये कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश कृपा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य श्री अद्वैत श्रीवासादि हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 First of all, I would like to seek blessings from all the devotees who are assembled, especially Prabhuji and Mataji. They are quite senior and connected to us, and I would like to seek blessings of His grace. Jignyasa ISB Mataji also. I'm feeling very, very humbled and honored to be present amongst all. I would prefer to sit on that side and hear both of them speak. But because I came here for the first time to Chennai, they are giving me an opportunity to interact with all of you. Am I audible to everybody? Is my voice clear? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his most important disciples have been the Goswamis, the 6 Goswamis. So amongst the 6 Goswamis, the senior most of all the Goswamis was Sanatana Goswami. How many of you have heard of this name, Sanatana Goswami? Can you please raise your hand? Just so that I can know that you know it. You have heard the name Sanatana Goswami? Don't worry, even if you don't know the name, it is not. Who is Sanatana Goswami? Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami, both of them are brothers. And before joining Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sanatana Goswami, he was the prime minister in the rule of Nawab Hussain. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu selected as one of his most important personalities, his associates, his disciples, as the prime minister of Nawab Hussain. He was expert politician. He was a very learned scholar. He knew many languages. I think Persian and Arabic and many languages. So you can imagine the kind of learning that Sanatan and Roop had by this incident that Nawab wanted Roop and Sanatan to work for him. And actually, Roop and Sanatan didn't want to work for him because Nawab was a cow flesh eater, so they didn't want to work. Even Roop Goswami and Sanatan Goswami's parents were very disappointed that my sons they are working for Nawab Hussain. You can imagine in today's generation if someone's son becomes a prime minister and finance minister, will the parents be disappointed? But this is the culture of Vedic times. So they were very upset that why are my sons serving Nawab Hussain? So what happened? Nawab actually threatened Roop and Sanatan that if you both don't work for me, I am going to harass the Hindus. I am going to harass the Sanatans, the devotees. And because of this fear, they had to work for Nawab Hussain. When finally Sanatan Goswami retired the service of Nawab Hussain Shah, you know how much amount of wealth he had? Any guesses how much amount of wealth he had? It is explained that he had a boat filled with gold coins. This was the amount of wealth he had amassed by working under Nawab Hussain. In fact, Nawab used to consider him his own brother. And Nawab had given Muslim names to Roop and Sanatan. One of them was named Dabir Khas and another was named Sakar Malik. These were the names which Nawab had given. Now, finally, after a lot of difficulties, Roop and Sanatan they gave up the service of Nawab and joined Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I am giving this introduction to explain who is Sanatan. Thank you. Now I am going to share with you a story which happened in Vrindavan. So Sanatan Goswami is a great saint. How many of you have heard of Guru Purnima? Guru Purnima? That is celebrated on the disappearance of Sanatan Goswami. When Sanatan Goswami disappeared from this world, the entire of Vrindavan used to consider Sanatan Goswami as their guru, their father. And everybody shaved their head, considering that Sanatan was our family man. Just like in any family death happens, people shave their head. So entire Vrindavan shaved their head. This is Sanatan Goswami's influence. And this Sanatan Goswami, when he was in Vrindavan one time, there was a man who came to him, who came to know that Sanatan Goswami has got Paras money. Paras money is a very special touchstone. If you touch it with any metal, that metal can get converted into gold. So he went to Sanatan Goswami. That, my dear Sanatan Goswami, I have heard that you have got this Paras money. And Sanatan said, yeah, I have this Paras money. You search. Mostly it will be there in that corner in that dustbin. And this man came to know that it is there and he immediately went and searched the dustbin and he got the Paras money. And he took the Paras money out and he was very happy that he got the Paras money and he was about to just leave with the Paras money. But then a thought came to him. If this Paras money is so special, then why did Sanatan keep it in a dustbin? And then he again came to Sanatan and said, sir, can you please explain that why did you keep this Paras money in a dustbin? It means you must have something more valuable than this. This is not all enough. There is something more valuable than this. So Sanatan Goswami said that yes, if you want to know what is more valuable than this, I can give you. But for that, there is a condition. The condition is you should go and throw this Paras money in Yamuna. And then when you come, then I will give you what I have more special. So Sanatan Goswami told him like that, and he went and he threw that because he had faith in Sanatan. He threw that Paras money in Yamuna, and he again came back. When he again came back, Sanatan Goswami actually initiated him in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Sanatana Goswami said that this Parasmani has the power to only transform a metal into gold, but it cannot transform your heart into gold. But Hare Krishna Mahamantra has got the power to convert a stone-like heart, a metal-like heart into golden heart. So, what does these two things represent? The Hare Krishna Mahamantra and this stone, this Parasmani. Parasmani essentially represents material life. And Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Sanatana Goswami gave it, it represents spiritual life. So, I would like to hear from all of you. I'll have a small. Is it okay? I would like to have a small discussion with all of you. Like, because I came to know that all of you are practicing devotees and some rounds for you to chanting. So I would like to know from each one. Is there another coordination? They can go. Generally, I take this discussion with students. So, yeah, you just be there on the side. When someone raises hand, you can give it. So I want to ask all of you that what is so special in spiritual? Why are we practicing spiritually? Like there must be something special, right? Or you can also share what is difference between material life experience. Or why do you think spiritual life is important? In these lines, if you all can think, and I would like to hear your responses. And then I will share something. Who would like to begin? Any one of you? What does spiritual? What is so special about spiritual? If all of us are sitting here, yes, please give it. Madhav. You can sit and speak. No need to speak.
Spiritual life or practice there is like permanent and ever-increasing.
Yeah, very nice. So there are two words in Sanskrit. One is sukha and one is ananda. Material life can only give you sukha. Sukha means that which has a beginning and an end. It will come and it will go. But ananda is something which is unending. So spiritual life can give us bliss, can give us ananda. Whereas material life can only give us some small temporary happiness, bodily level, mental level, intellectual level, not more than that. But it cannot give you ever increasing and ever existing ananda, which only spiritual life can do. Very nice. Thank you. So the Vedanta Sutra says, Anandamaya Abhyas. All of us are actually looking for that bliss, that ananda, because that is our nature. Any other thing? Yes, please.
Spirituality gives us answers to certain questions.
Yeah.
Who am I? What's my roots? I have not reached that stage when something,
Yeah.
that is the path.
Very nice. So spirituality brings us to knowledge, whereas material life keeps us in illusion. Spirituality will tell us who we are, where we are, what is the path, and what is the destination. It is like material life is like it is simply existence. There is no understanding of where am I going and where am I like when will I reach? What is the path? Is it correct or not? Very nice. And anything else?
So, for me, spirituality has been like being of being down and never feeling like being
Especially if a person like Mataji is there, then you will surely experience this. So Mataji and Prabhuji had come to Varanasi around how many 1 month before? Around 1 month before they had come, and we got association of both of them for almost 4-5 days. What is it? 4-5 days, and it was such a big festival and celebration for us. So we were telling that as if like Shiva and Parvati are sitting and giving classes together. So like that, both of them enlightened all of us. Very nice. Thank you. Why true love can exist only between spiritual people? Because Krishna is there in the center. And Krishna is the source of all love. Without Krishna being in center, it is like the scriptures give example. What examples they give? Suppose you have a Mysore pak in this hand, and in this hand you have a Rasgulla. If you want pleasure from these things, can you exchange Rasgulla and Mysore pak with hand to hand? What you have to do? You have to put it in mouth. Because when it goes to the mouth and the stomach, through the stomach it can reach each and every body part. But what people are trying in this world is they are trying to enjoy without Krishna. Spirituality is not telling you not enjoy, but it is telling you first learn the right process of enjoyment, have enlightened enjoyment, and have Krishna-centered enjoyment. And that is the most sustainable and most happiest and most blissful thing which we can have. Like that. Thank you. Any other responses? Any other things anyone wants to share? Yes, please give.
In material life, whatever the happiness you got, anything, but it can't give you the peace.
Yes.
In the spiritual world, it is the peace of mind.
Peace of mind. Very nice. Thank you. You know why in 5th chapter, 29th chapter, Krishna talks about peace formula. So, what is the reason of anxiety? The reason of anxiety is we try to control things. We try to lord over things. We try to make things our. We want to establish proprietorship. So Krishna says, Bhoktaram yadyatapasam sarvalokam maheshwam suhridam sarvabhutanam yatva mam shantim vrishati. So as soon as a spiritualist comes to know that actually everything belongs to the Supreme Lord, and He is the real enjoyer and He is the controller. But you know, if you come to know that you are not the enjoyer, you are not the controller, and someone else is, it is also a very fearful thing. So someone else is in control. But then scriptures say, Suhridam Sarva Bhutana, that the Supreme Lord is your ever well-wishing friend. Suppose your very close friend is Ambani's son. Will you be ever be fearful of whether he will get placement? Right? Because you just have to call him and he can make you partner. Right? So if the Supreme Lord is your friend, then how can you be not how can you be in anxiety? You can always be peaceful. You can always be happy that the Lord is there in control and He's my ever well-being. Thank you. Any other responses that you want? What is so special about spiritual life? Is Motherji, you want to share anything? Yes. Correct. Yes. Very good. Yes, very good. It is sometimes I feel that spiritual life may be sometimes difficult, but material life is impossible. Why? Because just think about it logically. If I tell you to invest in stock market, if I tell you to invest in these stocks, and I say what is ultimately going to happen is those stocks will go to zero. They are going to collapse for sure. It is written. There is no doubt about it whether it is collapse or not. It is going to collapse. How many of you think that it is an intelligent investment to invest in such stocks which is sure to collapse? It is foolish. But interestingly, this is said by King Kulashekar. We are sitting here in Chennai. These are the area where King Kulashekar Alvar actually ruled. He says, Ashcharyamedadhi manushya loke sudham parityajya visham pibanti Namani Narayana Gocharani Tyaktva He says, you see the human population, you will be in great ashcharya, great bewilderment. Why? He's telling that in front of a human, if there are two bottles kept, one bottle is written nectar, one bottle is written poison. Then what this fellow does, he takes the nectar bottle, he reads it is nectar, and he throws it. And that which is written as poison, what he does? He takes it and drinks it. This is Kulashekar saying that Sudham Parityajya. Sudha means nectar. Sudham Parityajya Visham Pibanti. He is drinking this. Because he has left Narayana's holy names and he's taking everything else in the world very seriously. But what will come to help at the end of life is Lord Narayana's names. Nothing is going to be of any much use. So it is like this is called sure to collapse, STC band. Sure to collapse means material life is like whatever you do. So just imagine if in IIT Madras I give a proposal to all the students. Whether you get a 6-pointer, whether you get a 10-pointer, whether you get a fail marks, whatever you get in 4 years, whatever you do, at the end there is a fixed placement for everyone. How many of you think that IIT Madras students will study? Nobody will study. Why? Because whatever you do, it is not going to matter. The placement is fixed. You will get dismissal as practice. So scriptures are saying whatever you do in material life, your placement is fixed. Everyone is going to get the final same placement, same award. And that is why an intelligent person thinks that let me invest in something, at least let me take out 15 minutes, half an hour a day. Let me take out some time and invest in something which I can carry after this life. You know, Alexander the Great, who conquered so much, when he was about to die, he told four best doctors of the world were treating him. He told the 4 doctors that can you please give me at least 4 more hours? They said, sorry, sir. We cannot give you. And then he said, at least 4 minutes. They said, if you are going to die next moment, you will die. We cannot give you 1 moment also. Then Alexander got frustrated. He said, do 3 things. These are my 3 final wishes. He said, I want that my arthi should be carried by 4 doctors. I want the whole world to see that doctor cannot save you. Then he said, second thing what you do is you keep my hands straight like this, open. You show to the people of this world that even Alexander the Great did not carry anything with him. And then he said that, whatever wealth I have accumulated, whatever riches I have accumulated, especially the gold and jewelry which I have got, while my body is going, throw it on my body and let everything fall from it. So he said like this, these were his 3 wishes which he made. So this is material life. But spiritual life is something very, very special. Why? Because in spiritual life, even little endeavor what we do, that gives very, very special result. Now in college, will your college give you a degree if you complete 6 semesters and don't complete 2 semesters? Will it give you a degree? It will not give. But in spiritual life, even if you have only done 1 semester, still that result is with you. That is not taken away. So I will show you few differences which I had. Can you open that slide? You all can repeat one verse behind me. This is from the 2nd chapter. See, this is actor Jim Carrey. He says, "Is this visible? It is not coming here." Why it is not coming here? यहाँ पर कुछ और दिख रहा है. I think this is because of, huh?
That is run through the net.
Oh, okay. Is it like that? You just share this, please. There's an actor Jim Carrey. He says, "I think everybody should get rich and famous and do everything they ever dreamt of, so that they can see that it's not the answer." See, in material life, even if you go to heaven, once punya is over, you have to fall down. Tetam bhutva swargalokam vishalam shile martyalokam shanti. Even if you go till Swarga, you have to come back. You see, in material life, any endeavor is a total loss if some part of endeavor has remained. But in spiritual life, even little efforts bear eternal fruits. Like any company or any college will not give you a degree until and unless you clear all the subjects. But in spiritual life, you get wonderful results even without completion, because you can complete it in the next life. You complete 10% in this life, the next life you can start from 11%. We'll recite this, so you can repeat after me. Neha vikramana shosti pratyavayo vidyate smatyasya karmasya rayate mahato bhaya. Swalpam apyasya dharmas. Even if little bit you have done some spiritual activity, that will go along with you after many lives also. See, in material life, even if you become the greatest, like I gave example of Alexander, even if you become US president, whatever you may become, whatever success you have achieved, that is also ultimately going into a failure. So-called success is also failure. But in spiritual life, even if you fail, you become a success. Like you know about Jatayu. Jatayu failed in saving Mother Sita. But when Lord Ram saw Jatayu, you know what he said? He said, "I am feeling more pain than what I felt when I got the news of the departure of my father Dashrath." Dashrath's departure did not give me that much pain as Jatayu's departure. And Lord Ram personally did the final rites for Jatayu. Even Dashrath did not get this fortune of having Ram do his final rites, but Jatayu did. So in material life, even to begin anything, you need qualification. Like you all came to IIT, then you would have cleared some exams, some entrances, right? But in spiritual life, to begin, you don't need any qualification. What is required is an eagerness to start, and you can immediately begin. Like Srila Prabhupada, when he went to West, he gave this spiritual life to even to the hippies. who were like into all kinds of unwanted things, drugs and other things. But when they could begin and not just begin, but even perfect it. There's a beautiful verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam that says about this, that whatever lowest kind of people exist in this world, anybody can practice spirituality. In material life, okay, somehow you cleared entrance exam and came into college, but the process is very, very troublesome. But spiritual life, the process is extremely joyful. Kevala Ananda Kanta. So material life beginning is also a problem. Then the whole process is a problem. And at the end you get nothing. Don't get anything. But spiritual life, you can begin directly without any qualification. The process is Ananda Kanda, very, very blissful. And at the end you get the best destination. So Krishna talks about this. Please recite this verse behind me. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Vidamuttamam Pratyakshavadamam Dharmyam Susukam Kartumabhyayam. Krishna says that if you practice spiritual life, nobody has to give you proof that spiritual life is working. The proof is you yourself. Like if you eat food, do you need any certification that you have eaten food? What is the proof that you have eaten? You will feel full and you will feel satisfied. You will have strength and energy. So similarly, when one practices spiritual life, he will be satisfied. He will have spiritual strength and he will be very happy. So Krishna says, Susukham kartumodhyayam. You will experience a special pleasure. Susukham. And material life finally ends with death. But spiritual life gives us eternal residence in the spiritual world. So we become liberated at the end. So this verse says that anybody, so this verse is a very special verse. You know why? First we will recite it, then I will tell you. Ayur harati vaipumsa Udyarnastam chayarnaso Tasya te yakshadonita Uttamash. So it says, it talks about a special way of finding your age. Suppose I ask, suppose only these two, if I ask, what is your age currently? 20? 23. So this shloka says, this is not the way to calculate your age. You want to know how to calculate age? It says, count the number of moments and the amount of time you have spent for spiritual practice. And that is your real age. So that is your real age in the sense. That is the actual amount of time which you have used in a way which will go on, which will give you benefit forever. Because other all age will all perish with time. Like that process. So it's an introspection for all of us. So in Srimad Bhagavatam 7th canto, Prahlad Maharaj talks. He says that if anybody does an analysis that how much time he has for spiritual practice, let's do this small exercise. So suppose a man lives for 60 years. Nowadays people are getting like they're living till 60, 65. So let us assume 60 years. In a 60-year-old man, can you tell how many years go in sleeping? Every day one sleeps for around like 6 to 7 hours. Okay, so almost 1/3. So how many years we slept? 20 years. 20 years vanish in sleeping. Can you imagine? Okay, job or studies or whatever. Another 8 hours at least. So 8 hours is how many years? 20 years. Gone. How many years are remaining? 20 more are remaining. I'll give you analysis. In the remaining 20 years, we eat 3 times a day. So eating 3 times a day means at least around how much? Around 2 hours. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, everything included. 2 hours. So 2 hours means how many years? 2 hours is how many years? 2 hours is I think how much? 8%. Around 8%, right? So of 60 years, how much it should be? It should be around 5 years. 5 years going eating. And then taking bath, getting ready, and shopping, and then parties, and then chit-chatting with friends. Oh, and I forgot smartphone, by the way. If we include smartphone, there is this, you have what screen time you have. If you see people's screen time, it is coming in hours nowadays. So if you include that, then I think there will be hardly any time remaining. So if you do this calculation yourself, you will find that you have around 3 to 4 years to practice spirituality. That's all. And people say that, hey, so much time is there. Where so much time is there? You have only 3 to 4 years to practice. That's all. But see the great advantage. 3 to 4 years you practice, and what you get at the end, spiritual world. Such a big placement like that exists. So spiritual life can make you fearless. It can give you hope. It can give you fearlessness. Yes. Close. This Zoom what disconnected. We have 10 minutes more. Now let me tell you. I'll do one small discussion. This is about spiritual. That why we practice spiritual. But if I ask you that India is a supermarket of spirituality, right? So many spiritual practices. Even in IIT Chennai, I'm very sure a lot of spiritual practices must be going on. This organization, that organization. I mean, right? But why are we sitting here? This one. This. Is this visible? Yeah. Right. Why are we sitting here? What is so special in Krishna? I am going to share that small 5-10 minutes to speak about. Yes. The answer is given not by me. The answer is given by Uddhava in the 11th canto. He says a very beautiful verse. So, this verse is little long, but just see if you all can also recite it along, like behind me. I'll break it small. Tasmat bhavantam anapadyam anantaparam sarvakyamishwaram tadishyam nirvinnadhiram nirvisnamitattu Narayana So in this verse, Uddhava speaks why you should select Krishna as your Lord. Why is Krishna the real master? He's speaking about this. First quality of Krishna, he says. First quality of Krishna is Anavadhyam. He says, if you try to search for a master in this world, you will find that everybody has some fault. But Krishna is the only personality who is without any fault. I'll tell you something from Samudra Manthan Leela. You know, in Samudra Manthan Leela, Mother Lakshmi also comes. And she comes with a garland. And Samudra Manthan Leela, Mother Lakshmi is looking at all the people and she's looking who is the best husband, who is a worthy husband. And when Mother Lakshmi is looking at one personality, she's thinking, she looks at Durvasa. She thinks, Durvasa is a great sage, but too much anger he gets. I would not like to have a husband who is like all the time angry, anytime he's cursing me. She rejects Durvasa. Then she goes ahead. She sees Lord Shiva. She thinks, oh, he's the greatest of the Vaishnava. Vaishnava naam yata Shiva. The Lord of Kashi, Varanasi. And then she thinks, everything is good with him, but he has all these names and all this not so good dress. He's not presentable. I cannot take selfie with Lord Shiva. It's not proper. She rejects Shiva also. Then she goes ahead. She sees Indra. And she thinks, Indra, he has lot of wealth, lot of fame, lot of power, lot of influence, lot of beauty. But this fellow is too attached. He does not have renunciation. He does not have vairagya. She rejects Indra also. Then she goes ahead. And like that, she sees one demigod and everybody she rejects. Because she is finding that nobody is perfect. And Lakshmi wants a perfect husband. And then she sees Narayana, who was standing there. And she sees and she searches, is there any fault in him? And she understands there is no fault. And she comes running that I will garland Narayana. And then she thinks, but he also has one problem. The problem with Narayana is that I want him, but he's not behind me. That is the problem with Narayana. Narayana is not attached to me. But essentially, this pastime shows that how only Krishna or Lord Narayana is faultless. So if we want to have a master in our life, the best master can be a faultless personality like Krishna. This is what Uddhava is saying, Anavadya. But then he says, okay, someone may be spotlessly pure and faultless like Krishna, but let us see. So he goes, this method of contradiction. So method of contradiction means, so what Uddhava is telling, let us assume that you got another personality other than Krishna who is all pure. Another Krishna you got. And you say, no, I also have my Krishna who is all pure. Then Uddhava says, he may be all pure. Let us assume. First of all, that is not possible, but let us assume. But can he be Ananta Param? Can he be there for you at every time and every space, every place? Is it possible for anyone to do that? Nobody can do that. Only Krishna can do it. And Krishna showed in his pastimes. One time, who's Krishna's teacher? Sandipani Muni. So when Sandipani Muni, Krishna studied there for 64 days. In 64 days, he learned 64 kalas. At the end of 64 days, Krishna and Balram said, Gurudev, we would like to give you some Guru Dakshin. And Sandipani Muni was going to ask something. Sandipani Muni's wife was very intelligent. She immediately came running and said, hey, wait, I know you will ask something, go when our friend comes. Don't ask such things to them. You know who are they? They are not your disciples. They are the Supreme Lord. If you really want to ask something which nobody in the world can give, and only the Supreme Lord can give. Sandipani Muni asked, so what do you mean by this? So the Guru Mata, Sandipani Muni's wife, she said, ask them to get our dead sons back. Can anybody in this world get dead sons back? Only one person, Krishna. He can get dead sons also back. So Sandipani Muni said, you are very intelligent. You ask for our dead sons back. And then they asked Krishna, please get our dead sons back. Krishna went to Yama's abode, Yamaloka, and got the dead sons of Sandipani Muni back to life and returned it back to Sandipani Muni. This is Krishna's potency. He can change the past also. He can override the past. That is Krishna's power. One time, there was one Brahmin in this in Dwaraka. So this Brahmana's son would die every time. So he came running to the king and he said that what kind of king you are? In your kingdom, the son is dying before the father. This means the king is not good. And then the king said, what can I do? It is there in your destiny, that's why it is happening. Finally, the king did not help. Krishna did not help. Arjuna, what he did? Arjuna said, Brahmana, you don't cry. I will make sure that I will protect your son. He gave him like that promise. And Arjuna created an entire room of arrows and everything when the sun was about to be born. But something happened, the son again died. And this Brahmana was like very, very upset. He came to Arjuna and said, Arjuna, you are useless. Put your Gandiva down. What is the use of all this big, big things, big, big names, what you have got? You could not protect my son. And Arjuna said, I tried, but I could not protect. So he was really blaspheming Arjuna. And Arjuna came to Krishna and said that I gave word to a Brahmana, I must protect his word. And because Arjuna is Krishna's friend, so Krishna took Arjuna to all the places, various abodes he took. Nowhere they could find this Brahmana's son. And finally, Krishna and Arjuna crossed the entire Brahmanda and they went to Lord Vishnu's abode, Vaikuntha. And they went to Mahavishnu's abode, Vaikuntha, and there they met Mahavishnu. And Krishna said, the sons of Brahmana is here, they are here. And then Mahavishnu said, actually, Krishna, I wanted to take your darshan. That is why I hijacked these sons and brought. So that you and Arjuna come and give darshan here. And then they brought the dead sons of the Brahmana from Mahavishnu's abode and returned back to Brahmana. So these kind of things can be possible only by Lord Krishna. There are many such pastimes. Then Uddhava goes one step ahead. He says, okay, let us assume you got a master, you got a person who is all pure and who is there for you at every time and every place. But can he know and remember everything about you? Can he know about your past, your present, your future? Can he know everything? Can he remember every small thing you have done for him? People are very ungrateful in this world. So he says, but Krishna is very, very grateful. He does not even forget one small bit what you have done. You may have groomed the floor sometime here. You may have fed some prashadam to some devotee. And even that devotee would have forgot and you would have forgot. But who remembers? Krishna remembers. So he's Sarvagya. Then Uddhava says, okay, let us assume you got a Sarvagya personality also. But he knows everything about you, but can he control everything? Krishna can control everything. He's Ishwar. And then he says, okay, fine, you may have everything, but can someone give you the spiritual destination? But Krishna can give you the eternal spiritual destination of Vaikuntha, Akunta Vaikuntha Krishna. So because Krishna is what five qualities we discussed about Lord Krishna? First one was, what was the first quality? Anavadya. Anavadya means he's spotlessly pure. There are no faults in him. What was the second quality? Second quality was Anantapara. He is available for us at every time and space. So this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Srila Prabhupada would say that the moment you chant the Mahamantra, you are in association with the Supreme Lord. This is such a hotline to God that there is no place where the network stops. In mobile network, some places, I think I went to this hostel, 10th floor hostel, Mandarani hostel. The network does not come there properly inside the hostel. But I had my feedback. I was thinking that this network comes here also. Earlier in my childhood, there was an advertisement in television. Hutch. There was a mobile company called as Hutch. They said, wherever in this beautiful world. Like that, there was a song. And they would say that our network follows. but actually it is not correct. Only and only Krishna's network follows wherever you go, but because he's sitting as Paramatma in our heart. So he's Ananta Paramatma. And even if someone is present for us everywhere, but he cannot know everything about us, Sarvabhuma. And even if someone knows everything about us, they don't have the power to influence, they don't have the power to control everything. So he's Ishvara. And at the end, the Lord gives the devotee the eternal destination of Vaikuntha, Akunta Vaikuntha Vishnu. And that is why Uddhava says that if you are sitting here and if you are considering Krishna as your master and your God, then you are rightly situated. You have selected the right master. So that is why we are practicing spirituality. And in spirituality also, we have accepted Krishna as our master. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much for your patient hearing. I don't know what I spoke meant, like it made some sense or not, but I'm very, very thankful for Prabhuji and Mataji for giving this opportunity. I would like to hear if Prabhuji would add any comments.
Let's take some questions. The questions, please feel free to ask. Any points you can on this discussion or want to clarify, please feel free to ask.
Thank you, Shamu. Thank you so much for your answer. My question is that we know the code for the malls, but how to keep a faith on those malls when the situations surrounding situations are not good? And then particularly I would ask that how to keep a faith on Krishna that we will sail our boat in storm.
How to keep faith on Krishna that he will
Sail our boat in storm.
he will sail. It is very difficult to restrain ourselves in temptations. Every one of us has that practical experience. That when temptations come, so that there lies the real test. When question paper is easy, any student can pass. But if you have to come to IIT Madras, then you have to pass a tough exam, right? So when temptations are strong, we can always think that the exam is tougher. So how do you pass a tough exam? How do you pass a tough exam? By having stronger preparation. If you're very well prepared, then you can pass a tough exam. If you're not so well prepared, then what will happen? A tough exam will knock us off. Okay. So one of the things which we should always try to do is place ourselves in the right environment. In that environment, that does the maximum part. You're getting what I mean? Like I'll give you an example. Suppose you are going with 2-3 devotees. Okay. Some temptation comes. It is very likely that you will not pay so much attention to that temptation just because you are there with few devotees. But if you are alone, then it is very, very difficult. Okay. It requires a very strong sense of purpose and character to say no in face of temptation. Okay. So there are ways in which you can do it. One of the ways is they say self-accountability means no accountability. Self-accountability means no accountability. Means what does that mean? If you are the only person to whom you are accountable, then anytime your mind can cheat. So you should have one more person whom you are accountable to, who knows you in and out. Then what happens? Then we have that lok lagja, that in front of others. You're able to understand what I'm saying. So then there are ways. Like suppose someone is weak with smartphone. So there are ways you can use to have parental control or something. So these things can be done. So like that, for everything you can search out. You see this in Gmail, and these also they keep two-way authentication. Like if there are two-step verification, then the chance of error is very, very less. Same way, there has to be, other than you, there has to be some more accountability. Then it will be very safe. And the association of devotees gives us that shield, that protection. Does it answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Krishna, since we associate with so many people, especially here in campus, we find diversity. How do we know the association is a value? What is, how do we get the name that the value?
Yeah. Nice question. You have to observe, like, you know what association does actually. What does association do? Why association is so crucial? Any guesses? Like you want to share?
Their effects comes to us.
Their effects come to us. Like, right. I'll tell you what technically it does. It is, there is one thing which cannot be changed by any power in this world other than association, and that is desire. Association affects our desires. You get it? So when you associate with some devotees, some senior devotees, what happens is your desires start getting changed, transformed. This transformation of desire, इच्छाओं में जो परिवर्तन, ये desire का जो transformation है, no power in this world has to do it other than association. So if our desires are getting going closer towards Krishna, then it means that association is right association. It is helping me come closer to God. But if it is bringing the samsara ka jo impurity in us, if it is attracting me more towards material things, if it is making me more agitated towards some material objects, then it means I am taking somewhere wrong association. You have heard about Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, I told you there, like his brother, Rupa Goswami. He has written a book called as Nectar of Instruction. So, Nectar of Instruction, you know how many verses are there in Vedas? There are 1 lakh verses, 10 to the power 10 verses. Nobody has the time to read all that. But what Rupa Goswami has done, he has selected 11 verses. He has brought 11 verses and he has written a very small book. How much? 11 verses means like a poem only, small poem. These 11 verses he has put in Nectar of Instruction. And in this Nectar of Instruction, if suppose the entire Vedic literature is boiled down to 11 verses, every word has to be carefully selected. But in this, he has repeated something. Only one thing he has repeated. That is, he says, in do's, he says, give up bad association. And in don'ts, he says, don't have bad association. He has repeated it 2 times in these 11 verses also. Why? Because this is something very, very crucial. Because it can change your desire completely. So Lord Chaitanya also said, chant Hare Krishna and give up bad association. Asat Sangatya Ei Vaishnava Achar. How do you know who is a devotee? Who does not associate with materialistic people. Now, it is in one way in college, it is very difficult to not have any materialistic association, any non-devotee association, right? What it actually means is how do you associate? You associate when you give your ears, give your heart, you hear very submissively from them. So you may have formal relationship, exchanging some notes or talking about some class or talking about subject matter, all this. But as soon as we start sharing our heart with each other, then we start associating. And then his desires or her desires will come into us. So that we should be very careful. So Rupa Goswami has told about Dadati Pratigrihana Guhyam Akhyati Prachati Bhumte Bhovyate. To take food from someone, to give food to someone, that is association. To exchange gifts, that is association. And most important is when we share our heart and we hear from others. So these things should be done only with devotees. Food you can give to others, but from others you should accept it. From devotees we can accept. Is it?
Yes, yes. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Any other question or comment? Amma would like to share anything? Mataji, you would like to share something? Please give mic.
Hey Krishna, just to add to what Yogi was saying, that the questions which all are coming, how to handle, especially conditions. So there's one way to handle condition, and that is each and every relationship that we have is temporary. It could be peer pressure, because of which you feel that you may need to do something which is not right as per Krishna consciousness. It could be relationship pressure, parents expect something, or some relative expect something. All of these are temporary. There's only one relation which is permanent. And that one relation, even Krishna can't take from us. What is that one relation? That even Krishna can't take from us. That I am servant of Krishna. Even he cannot take that. That is the only permanent relation. When there is temptation, remember this. If you are attracted to any girl, which is normal to happen at your age, see somebody beautiful, you just get attracted to somebody. You remember that was to be urine. That is what every all our bodies are. We have 9 bodies in the body. Whatever comes out from any hole is disgusting. We don't want to feel bad. Hurry, I vomited so much. No, you don't feel that it is vomited in my body. From any of those. That is what each of our bodies is. What is there to get attracted? These things, these are the triggers. These will happen. But if you remember the trigger, the other side, you will be the way to know whether good and bad association is scripture, Guru Sadhu Shastra. Anything which is elevated is good association. Anything which is not elevated is bad association. And if we think we can live in our home where we be surrounded by devotees all the time, it is not like that. We are in the world, we will have to mingle with people who are mostly not. Look at them as future leaders. My behavior will determine how soon. If my behavior is obnoxious, if I look down and say, that person will not be good. So one person belongs to 50 people under the food. Don't do that. How we behave will determine how soon that person comes to the food.
So you may not take association so much from them, but you can give association.
And the way to preach, especially for Mataji's, is by not opening up. Nobody likes to learn preaching from daughter. We have to get used to it. Between friends, you can still talk. But most of the time, so you preach with your behavior. Open your mouth, maybe and if nobody is asking anything, say, generate interest. Make them ask instead of you going and say, you know, I know this. If you make share it, you know how much generate interest in that it will have gradually more. You know, not just having entire school knew because that is getting. So the whole school knew. And everybody was making money. And I used to think, no, it didn't happen. This will remember me as I am. But that's all of them. They would have to be it happens. Don't make a mistake, I mean, don't worry it. Just be normal. And show them you can. You can be involved. But at the same time, thanks to Krishna, all other relationships are normal. That one sentence, it will remain with you. Then you can handle again.
Maybe before we conclude the session, I wanted to share my points. Just like we have 5 fingers, these 5 fingers we can hold on to something very tightly. So when we walk also we have 5 fingers on our foot. So likewise, I try to focus on these 5 things to make our life successful. And this first one is sadhana. Sadhana is vehicle. Supposing I have to travel out of space, I need a proper vehicle. So the best vehicle is this human form of life. So the first question should be, am I using this human life the best possible way? The second one is everything should be scientific, because why we depend so much on the scientists? Why we believe the word of the scientists? Why have we this institute? Because when you have a science, then you can have technology, which means something which works. So the devotion is something Krishna himself says in the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. How this is practical. So you should change the quality of your life. It should be really relevant to your life. It should make devotion is practical. That is the Siddhartha, we should know everything in detail. So scriptures are giving everything in detail, including material. Material means temporary, but still it is useful, it is necessary. It's not that material is not important. It is important relative to spirituality. So science, Siddhartha, there is Bhagavad behavior. How you behave accordingly the world responds. You cannot blame this world or blame anyone. It is how you behave and that way it affects. So ultimately our life is in our hands. We know how to behave on Siddhartha. Everything is given out by example, by scripture, by practical experience. We know which what way we behave in that attract the right energy, positive energy attracts positive. So if something is happening as it means we have avoided. So that's why the example today is not when any bad person, and not when any good person, because ultimately the world is a reflection of your own self. So that's why we have to be responsible for our own behavior. And the fourth one is sangha. That's what you are asking association. Association doesn't mean we cannot reject this word, because this word is also creation of the Lord. Every person here is a creation of the Lord. So what is it? We have to associate. So just like the lotus example is the best one. Lotus is simply the most beautiful flower. You carefully observe the lotus, how it is designed. Nobody can design a lotus. So the beauty is in the design of the lotus. But if you see the lotus is in the pond is usually dirty because the water is not moving anywhere, water becomes stagnant, it becomes dirty. But even though it is growing in dirty water, it is able to maintain its beauty. So that is how a devotee should be. It really doesn't matter whether you are just disabled or something bad. Ultimately, if you are, how is it possible? How is the lotus able to maintain its beauty even though it is dirty water? Just like Prahlad, when he was born in a Devadayan family, almost surrounded by demons. But he was the greatest devotee because the lotus is always looking towards the sun. The sun is the brightest object in this universe, and the lotus is able to maintain its focus on the sun. So whatever happens, sun will be present. So if you are to fix your attention on Krishna and the process of devotion, then really it doesn't matter where you are. And the fifth one is seva. Seva means ultimately what is the secret of our success. We have to please someone. Just like if you are growing up in your career, how do people grow in their career? It's not just their academic background. You may have so many skills and very good education, good grades, but ultimately it's a network. How do you network with people? How do you basically, even if you have a network, you have to please someone. That person is pleased, he elevates. So this Seva, we should know who is the highest aspect of Krishna. It is the beauty of this Sarve Krishna. It's easy to easy because he has everything. He doesn't want anything from anyone. So therefore it is easy to be when we please Krishna representatives, that's form of Seva, then we make the rapid progress. So these are all the summaries in the 5 important forms of devotion. So the chanting. Chanting is sadhana. And then the Siddhanta, we have Bhagavatam. Books. Bhagavatam is the essence of all the Vedas. Vedanta, the essence, conclusion of the Vedas. But if you sit and try to understand the Vedas, it's going to not possible. Even Brahma cannot, even though he has written the Vedas, he himself doesn't know the conclusion of the Vedas. So the Vedanta is given the Bhagavatam. The third one is Vajranapasa. That is living in a holy place. So whenever you want in a holy place, even if you go to any holy place now, it's so polluted, but you want to leave that holy place first. We have this experience. So the holy place is our heart. We have to make heart, temple in the heart. So that is the then we can enter even the so-called holy personality becomes holy. And the fourth is the deity worship. Deity worship means again the fourth one and the fifth one is association. That already exists. So you grow by association and you fall down because of association. That is a proven fact. You take any successful person or any very successful person, they are grown up by good association and fall down by that association. So it's very, very important. Just like crystal is there. Crystal is colorless. But if it comes in contact with any color, in particular light, immediately reflects the same color. So although like really reflecting others' qualities, we are forgotten all of this qualities. That is 5 points I want to share with you. We have gone beyond our time. I am sure you might be having some doubts. Not ask. Probably the message in the future sessions. So really thanks, being honest. I heard that he raised score. He got All India rank 44. Which means he's obviously had a very good opportunity to grow his career that he wanted to. But this is the real career, as he said, that all these other careers come to an end. But this career which he has taken up is a eternal career. So that's very happy. I hope he comes here often.
Correct. Thank you very much, Mataji, for giving this nice opportunity to meet all these devotees also. And you all have such a beautiful place to do programs. Really wonderful. So this is the place where you do every week, like programs. Okay. So where are you doing? Okay. That's even bigger than this. Correct.
DT was going to know how to use things in this world. So whatever the next being given by God and using this sense. So to go then we have to serve the things to the God of the Christian color for you was our devotion access. So we have this word art service, but it's not as such. We think this So tomorrow we have again a quarterly event. Today, as I said, once in 2 weeks we have a program. You students have this previously before the pandemic. We had this like that. Now we will restart with the program from today. So then tomorrow, as well, usually we have the regular Sunday program. And this time we choose a different topic. Normally we have a discussions. So we choose the topic Jignyasa. Jignyasa means inquiry about life. I think we have sent the message of that. So if we are presented by any day, one of them will be surely for discussion. And we are working out the presentation by the students. We need to follow